Here we are in the second live session for week 5, and today we are going to see how to write the code for the quiz in JavaScript. So the task for the week, as we know, is to write the code in JavaScript for a quiz. And we have seen in this week about the programming fundamentals, variables, constants, conditional constructs, operators, and iteration. So when we have to write the code for quiz, this is the problem that we have in hand. That is to create a quiz. And the solution is divided into 3 parts. First is the layout that we will create through HTML. Second is stylizing that we will do through CSS. And third is capturing user input and checking if the user has entered the correct answer, and then calculate the score and display the score. So that will be done using JavaScript. So here in quiz for HTML, we have to design the layout of the page, write introduction to the quiz, create a form, the question that is basically the questions for the quiz will be label. As we've seen in the form, we have a label and then we have the input boxes or selection boxes. So the question will be a label, and the answer that you want to take from the user can be a multiple value that is in the drop down selection box, or in the form of radio buttons where the user has to select the correct answer. Then it could be checkboxes for multiple options to be chosen from, or it could be an input box for subjective answers. So you can choose either of these. Next is stylizing. In CSS, we are going to stylize the page, the form, and the button. And in JavaScript, we've already seen in JavaScript that we have to have a function on click. So when somebody clicks on the button, then the function attached to on click event is triggered. That function will capture the data, and we will check for the correct answer on the basis with the help of conditional constructs. And finally, we will calculate the score. And the score will be calculated using variable and operator. Then, because there is a calculation, so we will be using an assignment operator and an arithmetic operator. Then finally, we will display the result. Okay, so we will just see how to do it practically. Here is the Visual Studio Code editor, and I will create a file that is the HTML file first. New file, save as. Home.html. Inside a folder, save. Then we write an exclamation mark and enter, and the structure is created. Title is quiz. In the body, we will write begin with an H1 heading. take this quiz. Then there is a para description for the quiz. Form tag, we begin the form. Name equal to quiz1. Within the form tag, then we start writing the question and the answers. So to keep it simple, I am only incorporating the multiple selection option because other elements or other types of input, they would require more programming in JavaScript to handle their input. So to keep it simple for you, I am using multiple choice only. Here is form. First is label, ID equal to Q1, QL1, and what is the question? Question 1, coding for stylizing is done using then we have selection, select ID equal to A1, that is answer for first question. Within select box, we have options. So option value equal to, in the value, you actually have to give the answer because we will be capturing the value that is selected, value of the option that is selected. So just try to observe here that option value. So my options are going to be CSS. And here also I will write CSS. Option value equal to HTML. Okay. Now here, if you can see, I have written two options. One is CSS and one is HTML. And I have written the same value. The parameter for value is CSS, and between the options, opening and closing tag, also I've written CSS. Now this is what the user will see. That is this CSS that you write between the opening and closing tag. But what we capture in JavaScript and we work upon is the value of this option. So that is why I have kept both of them the same. So the user will see CSS as an option or HTML as an option, and the corresponding value will be captured. Okay. Next, we can copy and paste this. We'll create two questions. Label Q2, coding for layout of the web page is done using select. ID will change. ID is A2. And here also the options are the same, CSS and HTML. Okay. Now, the form button, but it has to be outside the form a closing tag. So we will write button value equal to submit on click equal to the name of the function that we will write, result, and between this we can write the name to be displayed on the button, that is submit. Okay, next we will create a p tag with an id equal to score or anything that you want, and this is an empty paragraph tag, or you can say result. All right, and that's it. Save, Control S. Next I will create a new file, save as my script.js. Save. So I have forgotten to link the script file. Within the head section, we use the script tag, script source equal to JavaScript file name, my script.js, Control S, in my script function. What was the name of the function? Result. Yes. Result function. Opening and closing curly braces. Within the curly braces now, I have to track the score of the quiz. So I will create one variable to store the result. Let total equal to 0. Then I have to have two variables to store the value of the option selected by the user. So let answer 1, comma, answer 2 equal to an empty string, because it is a string that we are going to check for. Okay. Now, answer 1 is equal to document dot get element by ID. We have seen that get element by ID, we can capture the value of that specific. We can change the value of that specific ID with inner HTML. Now we are going to capture the value. So document dot get element by ID. What is the ID of the first select? A1. A1 dot value. Okay. This is for answer 1. Same goes for answer 2. Document dot get element by ID. The select to A2. Now, this is A2, right? And then I will go back. You will start writing the condition to check if the answer selected. Now we've got what the user has selected. The value corresponding to the option that the user has selected is captured by these two lines for those specific IDs and is stored in the respective variables, answer 1 and answer 2. Now we have to check if the answer or the option that was selected was correct or not. We do that with the conditional construct. If answer 1 double equal to, that is to check for equality, double equal to. Now what should be the correct answer of question 1? Coding for stylizing is done using CSS. So the value CSS should be checked for. CSS. Then let us say we have two more variables, message 1 and message 2. Okay. So if the answer is CSS, then total is equal to total plus 1, or whatever weightage you want to give to any specific question. Like if it is for 10 marks, then say total is equal to total plus 10. Let's say 10. Then message 1 is equal to answer 1 is correct. Else message 1 is equal to answer 1 is incorrect. And the same goes for question 2. So copy and paste. Answer 2. Here I have to check if it is equal to HTML, because the correct answer is HTML. If it is the correct answer, then add 10 and answer 2 is correct. Else answer 2 is incorrect. Okay. Next is, when all this is done, now I have the total score with me. Now I want to display the score. For that, I will say document dot get element by ID. What is the ID of this para? Score. Score dot inner HTML is equal to. Now I will write the message. Total score is plus total plus. Now I want to give a break in between. When we have to write any of the HTML tag as it is in JavaScript, we write it within double quotes. So I have to give a break, line break between the message, and then I will say message 1 plus break plus message 2. Okay. So this is done. Control S. Let's see if this works. All right, here it is. Take this quiz. This is a simple quiz related to programming. Coding for stylizing is done using CSS or HTML. So it is done using CSS. Coding for layout of the web page is done using CSS or HTML. HTML, submit. And we can see the result. Total score is 20. Answer 2 is correct. It is not displaying answer 1. Why? Let's see. But the stylizing done using CSS. The total score should be 40. It is not showing the result for. All right, let's see. This is troubleshooting. Now I have to check what is wrong with this. Option value CSS and HTML. Okay. The problem is that I have not changed message. Sorry, there should be message 2 and message 2. Okay. And but total should have been added. That was not added. Let's see. A1 and A2. Answer 1 is equal to CSS. Message 1. Answer 2 is equal to HTML. Message 2. Here I have written total is total break. Message 1 and break message 2. Okay, let's see if this works. Refresh. Coding for stylizing is done using CSS and layer is done using HTML. Submit. So it is saying answer 1 is correct and answer 2 is correct. But the total score is 20, which should be 40 because both the answers are correct. Why is it not adding 20 for the first one? Oh yeah, that's right. 10 plus 10 is equal to 20. That's correct. So you got it. I got confused. So then that means, okay, I thought I was giving it 20, 20, so that should be 40. I'm giving it 10, 10, so it is 20, which is correct. Fine. So now you see that this is how you can write it, and then you can give a line break here in the HTML form, and then you can add stylizing using CSS. Let us see if I want to stylize the result. Control S, and I will write link rel equal to style sheet, type equal to text slash CSS, href is equal to my style.css. Control S, file new, file save as, my style.css. Here I have the ID score, and for ID we use a hash score. Let's say color colon brown, font size colon medium, font style is, font family is cursive, and that's it. Refresh. Okay, so I've added line breaks in between, and then the result is this. All right, so the second one is incorrect. So the total score is 10. Answer 2 is incorrect. All right, so this is how you can create a simple quiz. And that's about writing the code for the quiz. Now, if you have any questions, please let me know. You will be able to find this code in the resources. So if you go to code resources, you will see that I will show you. Here in the coding resources, so these are the 3 files for a single page quiz, which you can check out and use it for practicing. Any questions if you have regarding this? So how did you go for the coding page to the actual page? All right. So the coding page is in Visual Studio Code. You save the file. I'll show you because I have to screen share different screens. So probably that's why I've missed it. So this is the coding page here in Visual Studio Code for all the 3 files. I have saved them. Now I will go to the folder where it is saved. Okay, so this is where the code has been saved. The home file, my script, java.js, and my style.css. Then I will double click on home. This, if you can see, the icon is of Google Chrome. That is the web browser, the default web browser of my system. So if I open this file, it will automatically open in Google Chrome. And I open it, you can see it here. Okay. So this is how you see the HTML file. Whenever you write the code for HTML along with JavaScript or CSS, you always view the HTML file in the web browser. Does that help, Ella? Okay, all right. You're welcome. Any other question? So that is about this week. You just have to write this additional code in JavaScript. And but let me clarify this to you, that this quiz, you will not be able to use it on your website. Why? Because this quiz you are creating offline, that is on your system. This is not going to be uploaded on your website. This you can properly have in your system. For example, at the school, if you are you have access to your system in the school, so you can properly create a quiz like this, keep it in your system, and then uh, ask your students to work on that system itself, because this is not going to get online. This is an offline practice that we have done of how the quiz works. Now, next Saturday is the closing session. Till then, just try and practice JavaScript for the quiz, and that's about it. Thank you everyone for joining in, and have a good week. Thank you.